Hey guys, welcome to the Nerd Sanctuary here. Zato here with the deck with my Maelstrom deck profile. Can't recall if I've done it or not, but I actually updated it. So without further ado, let's get into this. Obviously, it is a Excel deck, so you're going to want to run the Excel markers. With our generic starter, we starting off with Officer Cadet Eric. As like every other starter in Standard, when you ride it, you draw a card. Moving on to our grade 3s, I run 4 of the boss monster, Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom. I happened to get 2 of the SVRs, so I was not really happy about that. But his skill, act ability, once per turn, counterblast 1, and all of your units in your front row get an additional 3,000 power till end of turn. And his second ability, on auto Vanguard Circle once per turn, when your rearguard attack hits a Vanguard, if it is the third or fourth battle of that turn, discard 2 cards from your hand and you get to stand this unit. So it just provides a lot of on-hit pressure. It's not the greatest skill, but this deck is what I find out is really more oriented towards your rearguards, honestly, as most Aqua Force decks are. Next on, I have run 2. Next in the grade 3 slot, I run 2 of the Storm Rider Diamantes. I used to run 3, but I cut him down to 2 specifically for another grade 3 in the deck. But he's kind of like the backup 3. Plus, he also has the Excel marker. His skill auto Vanguard, and Rearguard Circle. When it attacks, if it is the first battle of that turn, this unit gets an extra 3,000 power until end of turn. And his second ability, which is what I mainly use it for. Once per turn, when it on Rearguard Circle, when it attacks, if it is the third battle of that turn or more, counterblast 1 and discard a card from your hand. Stand this unit and it loses 3k until end of turn. It's literally just to get, unless I don't have the grade 2s out, it's just that confirmed like 4th battle to get in. And then lastly, I run 2. It used to run this at 1, but I decided to raise it up because it is a good card. Besides, regardless of it not having a marker. It is Riptide Dragon. He has the continuous rearguard ability. This unit can only attack on the 4th battle of that turn or more, which can be a downside if you don't have a field. But its second ability is where it shines. Basically, auto. When it attacks, this unit gets an extra 20k until the end of the battle, which really helps get that Maelstrom on-hit skill off if you really want to get it. But you can also just stack triggers on him too as well. Okay, moving on to the grade 2s, I run 3 of Storm Rider Basil. He's pretty generic. He's still the grade 2 spots. Basically, there's always like 2 cards that are staples, and the other 2 are kind of like you throw them in here. He was kind of that same option, but he's still decent. He does his job. His skill is on the Rearguard Circle, when it attacks a Vanguard, if it is the third battle of that turn or more, counterblast 1 and he gets an extra 5k to the end of that battle. And if it's the 4th battle of that turn or more, he gets an extra 10k instead of the 5k. Again, it just helps you with on-hit pressure, and as much so. Moving on, I run 2 of the Tier Knight Lazarus. Again, he's just another grade 2 I just kind of put in here. Mainly because I like Lazarus. I like the artwork, and I've always liked Lazarus as a card. But he's pretty good, and per se, his ability when it attacks, Vanguard and Rearguard Circle, when it attacks, if it's the second battle of that turn or more, he gets an extra 3k. So he basically just 12k beat stick. Just confirmed power against at least other Excel decks or Protect decks. If you use the Maelstrom skill, he can attack a force Vanguard on his own. And then moving on basically to the 2 main grade 2s in the deck. I run 4 of the Tidal Assault. A little bit of a nerf from like the old Tidal Assault, but he's still good in his own way, and the fact that you can use him without losing power. And he also isn't forced to attack a Vanguard as well to activate the skill. So that's pretty good. His skill, Rearguard, once per turn, when it attacks, Soul Blast 1, stand this unit. And if it's the second battle of that turn or more, he loses 5k. So you basically like attack with him first, so you don't lose that 5k. And then if you could just use him to attack a Rearguard if you really need to. just to avoid getting those damage triggers. Because honestly, it's gone back to that's what hurts Aqua Force nowadays. And then lastly, I run, for the grade 2s, I run 4 of the Marine General of Restless Tides, Algos. He's actually way better than what he used to be on his back in the day. He actually has a decent skill now. His ability is on Vanguard Circle. When it attacks, if it's the second battle of that turn or more, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, and stand one of your rear guards, which is not that bad. And the second ability, when it attacks, if it's the first battle of that turn or more, Counterblast 1 and stand this unit. If I could recall, he used to just be a unit that helped you draw cards on like the fourth battle of the turn or more, which almost basically never happened. Moving on to the grade 1s, I run 4. I'm thinking of changing it, but right now it's still stable for me. I like it. I run 4 of the Tier Knight Fail. Just, again, for on-hit pressure, it's pretty good when it comes to gaining power, which is kind of what you need in this deck. So his skill, Vanguard Circle and Rearguard Circle. When it attacks or the attack it boosted hits a Vanguard, if it is the second battle of that turn or more, choose one of your units and it gets an additional 8k until end of turn. That 8k can go a very long way. Next, I run 4 of Light Signals Penguin Soldier, basically Jedi Penguin, that's what I call him. He's basically your resource, your countercharger, the only countercharger for this deck. And honestly, power booster at the same time. His first skill, Act ability, rest this unit, and one of your units in the same column as this unit gets an extra 5k until end of turn. Which you kind of use that for like a Tidal Assault or Algos, because you know they're going to restand without the booster. And then his second ability, when your other unit attacks, if it is the fourth battle of that turn or more, retire this unit and countercharge. Well, basically, it's one of those things where as soon as the attack initiates, you have to retire him to get the thing. You can't wait till after the attack. That's what kind of sucks about it. But timing-wise, if you can get it right, it's kind of not that hard. It can benefit you. And then lastly, I run 4. I'm thinking of cutting her down, but again, like she's still in a good spot for me. 4 of the Battle Siren Viviana. I recently found out that they had a typo or errata for her, so that's kind of the reason why I kept her in the deck. But her skill is when the attack it boosted hits a Vanguard. If it's the third battle of that turn or more, put this unit into your soul and draw a card. But it actually has the ability where it's missing out, but you draw a card and you also get to choose one of your other units to give it an extra 3k. And so like I said, it's that power boost that kind of what keeps it in the deck. The draw is like, you know, normally if you're playing against a good opponent, typically they're not going to let you get that off anyway, so he's just sort of there. And then for my trigger lineup, I sort of play around with this every here and there. But right now, what I have is, it's for my own personal preference. I like it, so I'm going to continue to run it. I actually run 8 front triggers because I tend to neglect the fact that it repowers up your entire front row. And since you have many Excel circles, you know, that's all. And, well, one, since you have Excel circles, and 2, you're not going to have boosters a lot. That really helps with the power and deciding not to, you know, choose one of those moments where if you like draw a trigger and you got to choose the unit and you kind of don't have to because everybody gets it. But yeah, so I run 8 of the front triggers, 4 of the PG draws because they're PG draws, and I don't know why you wouldn't run them. And then lastly, I run 4 of the heal triggers, generic Rainbow Elixir, baby girl right here. But that's it for my Maelstrom deck profile. If you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe for further more content. And we'll get right back. We're always looking to upload more stuff, getting your guys' opinions on anything or just what you guys want to see. But that's it for my deck profile, and I'll see you guys later.